course, there were some bands that look at you and said, "Oh, Coldplay is going to be a promise of the music." Can you say something like that about another band right now that is starting?
Oh, right, yeah. I think the Arctic Monkeys will probably be around for a good while. Who else?
Empire Weekend.
Band, just a band.
Or a singer, doesn't matter.
Well, I think Amy Winehouse is, you know, timeless classic because she's really a special superstar.
Do you find it interesting, this evolution that the rock and roll has, like from the 80s and the 90s, that it was like sex, rock and roll and drugs, and now that the bands we see they're like really pro-social and they're working on the free market like you and on environmental things?
Well, here's the thing, you know, rock and roll, the spirit of rock and roll is born from a place of, you know, wanting to revolutionize and go against the normal. And so in the 50s and 60s, that meant rebelling against, you know, middle-aged generation of, you know, pipe smoking and, you know, your wife cooks the dinner and, you know, it's all very old-fashioned. And so rock and roll then was about going out and smoking pot and sleeping with people and wearing leather pants and, you know, but now it's 2008 and behaving like that is, for a band like us, that just seems very cliched. It doesn't seem like really the spirit of rock and roll, which is about independence and individual thinking. So I think that's why bands now are like you say they are, because we're just trying to be individual and say what we believe in.
When did you begin to be involved with the social part, and why?
I think we decided at some stage that, well, we realized that we bizarrely had some kind of influence, not an influence, but we had a pedestal from which to speak from which people might listen, and we decided that we would try and do something useful with that rather than using it to make ourselves more money or whatever. So, you know, we wanted to use our music to advertise things that we believed in and things that we thought might be beneficial to other people.
We really tend to support Oxfam, this organisation from England. They tend to know more about what's important, and we are always happy to associate with it. We don't pretend to have any greater knowledge. You know, we would just rather talk about, you know, climate change or fair trade or whatever. We would rather talk about that than advertise, you know, sneakers or something.
But you're interested in Latin America too. You like to get to Latin people and let them know too.
Well, everyone. It affects the world, definitely. Especially the fair trade stuff is important for everyone, absolutely.
When you write the songs, do you try to give a message, like a political message?
It's quite hard to write a really great political song because I think you have to really know what you're talking about, and B, it's very hard to talk about things like that without sounding like you're preaching to someone, I think. So we always tend to write and play songs that are about things that we know about and therefore are more convincing, and then we use the influence, the platform that those songs give us to then talk about stuff.
There is a message of independence though, that you've got to follow your dream and you've got to follow your path, and you shouldn't be distracted by people trying to brainwash you.
And what's your dream, guys, then?
This is it.
Coldplay is your dream.
No, this interview.
Right.